I am Nikita Upadhyay, M.Pharm, Assistant Professor, Malvanchal University, Indore, Index Institute of Pharmacy. Today is my topic, wound healing. स्किन स्ट्रक्चर एंड फंक्शन। स्किन होती है लार्जेस्ट ऑर्गन ऑफ द बॉडी, हमारी बॉडी का सबसे लार्ज ऑर्गन होती है स्किन। प्राइमरी फंक्शन इज़ प्रोटेक्टिव। प्राइमरी फंक्शन के लिए इसका जो प्राइमरी फंक्शन होता है वो प्रोटेक्ट करने का होता है। कंपोज्ड ऑफ सेवरल लेयर्स, कंपोज्ड करके रखती है सेवरल लेयर। आउटर एपिडर्मिस, आउटर होती है इसकी जो सबसे बाहर वाली लेयर होती है वो एपिडर्मिस होती है। डर्मिस कंटेनिंग द कैपिलरी नेटवर्क। सबक्यूटेनस लेयर हाइपोडर्मिस। एडिपोज लेयर। स्किन का स्ट्रक्चर फंक्शन, थिकनेस वेरियस फ्रॉम अ थिन मेम्ब्रेन एट इंटरनल flexors, example elbows, to thicker at the soles of the feet which bear considerable pressure. Flexors, example elbow, to thicker at the soles of the feet which bear considerable pressure. Hair follicles, sebaceous gland and sweat gland pass through the epidermis but areas form the dermal layer. Classifying wounds. A wound can be defined as a cut or break in the continuity of any tissue caused by injury or operation. Wounds can be classified according to their nature: abrasions, continuous incision, laceration, open, penetrating, puncture, septic, etc. Wounds may be classified according to the number of skin layer involved. Superficial involves only the epidermis. Partial thickness involves the epidermis and the dermis. Full thickness involves the epidermis, dermis, fat, fascia and exposes bones. Clean, non-traumatic, clean, contaminated or dirty. The ways in which wounds heal. 3 basic classification exists. Healing by primary intention. To oppose surface of a clean inside wounds, no significant degree to tissue loss are held together. Healing takes place from the internal layers outwards. Healing by secondary intention. If there is significant tissue loss in the formation of the wounds, healing will be being by the production of granulation, tissue wound base and walls. Delay primary healing. If there is high infection risk, patient is given antibiotic and colors is delayed for a few days, example bites. All wounds heal following a specific sequence of phases which may overlap. The process of wounds healing depends on the type of tissue which has been damaged and the nature of tissue disruption. The phases are inflammatory phase, proliferative phase, or remodeling or maturation phase. Schematic diagram of the phase of wound healing. Inflammation, proliferation, maturation. The healing process, days 0 to 5. The healing response starts at the moment of injury. The clotting cascade in initiated. This is protective tissue response to stem blood loss. The inflammatory phase is characterized by heat, swelling, redness, pain, and loss of function at the wound site. Early hemostasis, late phagocytosis. This phase is short-lived in the absence of infection or contamination. Days 3 to 14, characterized by the formation of granulation tissue in the wound. Granulation tissue consists of combination of cellular elements including fibroblast, inflammatory cells, new capillaries embedded in a loose extracellular collagen matrix, fibronectin and hyaluronic acid. एंजियोजेनेसिस क्या होता है ये इस पीपीटी में देखेंगे. एंजियोजेनेसिस होता है कोलेजन फर्स्ट डिटेक्टेड एट day 3 and repeatedly increases for approx 3 weeks, then more gradually for the next 3 months. Fibroblast proliferation and synthetic activity continues in parallel with revascularization. Endothelial cells from the side of venous closets to the wound begins to migrate in response to angiogenic stimuli. Angiogenesis forming capillary buds then loops. Epitheliations. The epidermis immediately adjacent to the wound, its being to thicken within 24 hours after injury. In approximated inside wound, reepitheliation is usually complete within 48 hours. Maturation can last up to layer can up can last up 2 years. New collagen New collagen forms, changing the shape of the wound and increasing the tensile strength. Scar tissue, however, is only ever approx 15 to 80% as strong as the original tissue. During the remodeling process, there is gradual reduction. Each cellularity and vascularity of the reparative tissue. Contraction only undesirable where it leads to unstable tissue distortion and an unsatisfactory cosmetic result. Wound contraction usually begins from day 5 and is complete at approx 12 to 15. Moist wound healing. Basic concept in the presence of exudate will provide an environment that stimulates healing. Exudate contains lysosomal enzymes, WBC, white blood cells, lymphokinase, growth factors. There are clinical studies which have so that wounds maintained in a moist environment have lower infection rates and heal more quickly. Factors affect immune status, blood glucose level, impaired white cells function, hydration, slow metabolism, nutrition, blood albumin levels, building blocks for repair, colloidal, osmotic pressure, edema, oxygen and vascular supply, pain causes vasoconstriction, corticosteroid depress immune function. Practical consideration: the cause of the wound, underlying disease process, current health status, medication acute or chronic, attitude of the wound, availability of care, identification of hindrance to healing, adequate nutrition status, adequate perfusion and oxygenation, high quality research, best patient and wound management, correction of the underlying cause of the problem, disease management. Wound assessment: sign of infection, odor of exudate, wounds assessments, surrounding skin color, moisture, wound bed necrosis, granulation, size, depth, location. Grading by tissue involvement. Grade 1, non-balanceable erythema of intact skin, discoloration of the skin, warmth, edema, induration of hardness may also be used as indicators is people with dark skin. Grade 2, partial thickness skin loss involving epidermis, dermis or both. The ulcer is superficially and present clinically as an abrasion or blister. Grade 3, full thickness skin loss involving damage or necrosis of subcutaneous tissue that may extend down to but not through underlying fascia. Grade 4, extensive destruction, tissue necrosis or damage to muscles, bone or supporting structure with or without full thickness skin loss. Clinical appearance. Describes the type of material present in the base of the wounds. Slough yellow, necrotic tissue black, infected tissue green, granulating tissue red, epithelializing tissue pink. Sloggy wound. Aim to liquefy slough and aid its removal. Dead cells accumulated in exudate. Prepare wound bed for granulation. Assess wound depth and exudate levels. Hydrogels, hydrocolloids, alginates and hydrofibrous dressings. Necrotic wounds aims to describe and remove each year, provide the right environment for autolysis, assess wound depth and exudate levels. Hydrogels, hydrocolloids, dressing. Infected wounds. Reduce exudate odor and promotes healing. Clinical signs and infections. Swab wounds. Systemic antibiotics. Treat symptomatically. Execute and color odor control. Change dressing daily. Granulating wound. Support granulation project. New tissue keep moist. Access depth the exudate level moist wound surface. Non-adherent dressing. Treat our granulation. Hydrocolloids forms alginates. Epithelializing wound. To provide suitable condition for resurfacing. Film hydrocolloid disturb at little as possible. Wounds characteristics. Exudate odor condition of tissue within the wound, condition of the surrounding skin. The surrounding skin, eczema, psoriasis, macration, excoriation due to exudate of bowel contact, self-inflicted damage. Monitoring healing progress. Wounds dimensions photography. Wounds assessment charts. Frequency of assessment. Plan of care useful information other methods. The purpose of dressing to add debridement, the remove excess exudate, the control bleeding, the protect a wound, to support healing. The ideal dressing, a dressing that creates the optimum environments. Wounds, debridement, wound cleansing, alternative therapies. No adherent wound contact materials, film, hydrogels, hydrofibers dressing, hydrocolloids, foams, alginate miscellaneous. Film dressing, semi-permeable, primary or secondary dressing, clear, polyurethane coated with adhesive, conformable, resistance to shear and tear, do not absorb exudate. Example, Tegaderm oxide. Hydrocolloids, pectin, gelatin, carboxymethyl cellulose and elastomers. Environment for autolysis to debride sloughy or necrotic wounds. Occlusive hypotoxic environment to increase angiogenesis. Waterproof, different presentations. Example, Ergotool. Foam dressing, advanced polymer technology, non-adherent wound contact layer, highly absorptive, semi-permeable, various type, adhesives and non-adhesive. Hydrogels, sheets or gels, starch and polyacrylamide, 94% water, low exudate, shallow wounds, rehydrate necrotic tissue, secondary dressing needed, may cause skin macration. Alginate, sweet dressing, form a gel over the wound. Moderate to high exudate wounds, easily removed, can cause pain, help to debride a wound, different presentation. Hydrogels, hydrocolloids, alginates, hydrofibers dressing, surgical wet to dry dressing, Whirlpool. Tissue viability, documenting wound care, personal or litigation, good staff communication, community of care, to access progress of deterioration, should be factual, not subjective, wound assessment charts. Wound care is becoming more complex as the range of wound increase. Correction of underlying causative factor is essential. Key principle must be A threat to with regard to basic patient and would assessment. Thank you.